Welcome back to Vault 76. We've got a ton of news to go over about one of our most anticipated games of the year, Fallout 76. We've got some brand new details about how the servers are actually going to be working in Fallout 76. Is it possible to steal someone's power armor when they die? What about trading? There's more details about that. Also, some pretty cool details about the main quest line, and we're going to go over some information about microtransactions. So guys, welcome back to Open World Games. I'm so hyped to get into this video. Let's do this as we kind of explore Vault 76. We've got some details about the actual vault itself. So let's start out first with those new multiplayer details. Pete Hines out on Twitter has spilled the beans about all this information. Of course, he's from Bethesda, so let's begin. So Michael says this: in Fallout 76, will a player who doesn't put a ton of hours in a week miss anything like quests and whatnot in the different areas if they are on a server that has players that quickly level up and launches a nuke? A very good question. Basically, are the servers kind of persistent? Are you going back into the same server over and over again? And P. Hines confirms, every time you play, you're gonna be with different people. Don't think of it as logging into a server. Just click play when you want to play, end quote. And of course, Pete Hines is basically referring to random players there. So when you go into the game and you click that play icon, whether it's a saved game or whatever, you're being launched into possibly a new server every single time. But of course, you can matchmake with friends, and then there is matchmaking options in this game as well. So you can get with friends, do co-op and stuff like that. So that is really cool to know as well. But you know what? Let's say you go in there, you PvP a player. Can you steal their power armor? That's a really good question. Let's pretend they worked their butt off getting that power armor. So Ben was wondering this. He says, in Fallout 76, if you die in power armor, do you lose it, respawn in it, or can the killer, if they're a player, take it? And the response was from Pete Hines, they can only take your junk, end quote. So they can only take whatever's in your junk items list, I guess you would say. So PvP will be offering you rewards with junk items, and then if you both agree to the PvP engagement, as a PvP player, if you win that engagement, you can also win caps. So no worries about your power armor. It sounds like it's safe, but let's pretend, you know, you're playing with players. Can you potentially trade your power armor with them and just drop it at their feet and say, hey, I got this really cool power armor that you have to check out? Well, we have new details about trading as well. So Armitez, I think it is, says this: can we have a system where we just give stuff to other players, like food, meds, etc.? Very good question. And Pete Hines says this: just trade it to them and don't charge anything or leave it out for them, end quote. He also said that you can store stuff in containers as well for your buddy. So you could say, hey, it's in the green container at the store. Go check it out. You'll find a bunch of cool items in there if you need them. And you don't have to put a price on them or anything. Or you could be the haggler, the trader, and put a price on this. Even with your friends, say, hey man, I got to get something. I got to get some sort of caps for this. Or you have to trade some sort of item. So that's something you could potentially do as well in Fallout 76. Become the ultimate entrepreneur of the apocalypse. So let's talk about the main quest line. Is there even one in Fallout 76? They haven't given us much details about the actual story or main quest line at all. So this is what Pete was wondering. He said, hey brother, any info on quest lines for Fallout 76? As a single player, is there a main quest that can be completed? Are there ghoul NPCs to give out quests, since there are no NPCs in the game technically, like raiders, super mutants? And Pete Hines says this. He says, there's any number of other ways to get quests. And yes, there's a main quest line, end quote. So yes, there's going to be some sort of overarching main storyline to experience in Fallout 76 for sure. My main storyline that I will be going on at first is the hunt for the nuke. I'm sure many of you guys will be pursuing the nuclear weapons as well, and I think that's going to be one of our main goals, is trying to grab these codes with buddies and obtaining the nuke. At least that's my goal, but I'm going to enjoy just exploring the world for sure. So, speaking about the main quest line, there have been some new details about Vault 76 itself. So we know we're going to be waking up in the vault and exploring it, and it's going to be possibly Reclamation Day or something like that. So this is the question. Preston says, if Fallout 76, can you go to Vault 76 and re-enter it after you leave and use it as a base of operations while you're gathering supplies to make your own settlement? Or is it locked like in Fallout 3? Good question. You know, it would be cool as like a settlement type thing. But Pete says this, you can't go back in, end quote. So this could mean several things in terms of story. It could be that they just lock it off simply. They don't want you going back in at all, but it looks beautiful. It would be really cool as like a type of like bunker settlement, of course. But it could also mean perhaps that Vault 76 ends up getting destroyed or something like that. Perhaps you have to actually escape it. Who knows? But we will be finding out. A lot of you guys were also wondering and worried about being griefed as you head out of Vault 76. How are they going to protect players heading out of these vaults and making sure that PvP players aren't just waiting outside? Well, there's going to be a big border around Vault 76 so players, PvP players more specifically, can't get to you. So that's going to be super important. Of course, because, you know, there were problems with the dark zone in the Division at first, where you would exit and you would be trolled pretty hard. I think that might still be an issue in some regards. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about microtransactions. We already know some details about microtransactions. They will be a thing in Fallout 76, but there's still some concerns about them. So, Modish Noun says, will it be possible to buy non-cosmetic items, say a legendary minigun, with microtransactions? And Pete Hines responds saying, no, only cosmetic. So he reconfirms this. Once again, no worries, guys. Looks like there's not going to be any major gameplay enhancements with this one. Now, also, there was a follow-up question to this. Hawking says this, so I can technically grind this in-game currency to buy all available cosmetics. That's going to be super important that we can obtain these cosmetics without the worry of microtransactions. Now, P. Hines goes on to say, sure, I mean, assuming you want every single one, end quote. But I think the biggest worry here, and I think Bethesda's going to have to be super careful about this, is you got to remember that this is going to be a $60 game. It's not going to be free to play experience. If players discover, by doing simple math, that the grind to get cosmetics is too long, then they're going to have a big problem, I think. They're going to have major backlash with that. I've seen this happen. You guys may know that I've covered Battlefront 2, and it happened in the worst way possible. Everyone did their math, and they figured out it was going to take like a ridiculous amount of time to even get any type of cosmetics in the game. So, you know, I hope Bethesda has that in mind, and that they're super careful about these cosmetics, because cosmetics, no matter what, are going to be super important to players. You know, even though we're not going to be seeing microtransactions when it comes to gameplay enhancements, players still want, you know, to be able to obtain these cosmetics within a reasonable time. Of course, there's a balance there, and it would be tough to be a developer, because you do want players to stay in your game, and you want it to feel rewarding. That yes, you don't want to give players too much items all at once, too many cosmetics. So it's definitely a balance, and I'm quite curious to see how this is going to work out with the microtransactions and everything like that. You know, GTA Online has gotten away with it. Somehow they've done a good job with microtransactions. So let me know how you guys think they should be handling some of this stuff for sure. So guys, there it is, the latest happenings about Fallout 76. I'll keep you guys updated about all things happening around this game. Of course, Gamescom is winding down. I was hoping for new gameplay, dang it, but we did not get new gameplay from Fallout 76. We got some new details. Now, remember, PAX West is fast approaching. I think that's August 31st through like September 6th or something like that. So mark that on your calendars. They will be having a presence at PAX West. And you know who else will be there? There's another game that I'm hyped for, and I have been covering this game, is Anthem. So it's been confirmed that BioWare and EA will also be showing off stuff related to Anthem. So maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing some new gameplay clips related to Fallout 76 and Anthem. But yeah, I will definitely keep you guys in the know. So be sure to follow me here on YouTube and on Facebook. I do daily streams on Facebook. Been having a freaking blast with that one, hanging out with you guys. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Fallout 76 and open world gaming goodness. And I will see you guys soon enough in the Wasteland.